converted stitcher. This is my very first Flosstube video, and I actually recorded this once already. I didn't like the way that it came out. I was very disorganized, didn't have some of my stuff ready. So I'm gonna do this again and hopefully it comes out a little better. I'm gonna do the Know Your Needle Worker tag and show some of the things that I have stitched since I started cross stitching and when I cross stitched like 10 years ago. So first question is, where do you live? I live in Jasper, Texas. I have pretty much lived here all of my life. So Southeast Texas, I'm about 2.5 hours away from Houston. It's a very small town, kind of boring, nothing to do. You have to drive a long ways to see a movie or whatever you want to do. But anyway, what do you do for a living? I don't work right now. Haven't worked for about 2 years now. I homeschool my kids, so we're home all the time. I have worked most of my life, but I have about 5 years I haven't worked off and on since I started working. Do you have any children? I have 2 children. I have a daughter who is 15 and a son who is 11. My daughter actually is the one who's helping me edit and do all of the technical stuff. I probably would be completely lost if she wasn't helping me. Do you have any pets? I have 2 cats that stay outside. They're a royal pain. And I have 2 dogs that stay inside. One is a pug and his name is Bear. And the other is a mixed dog. I don't know, I'll try and take some pictures of them and maybe get my daughter to insert pictures of them. But she's a mixed dog. She's kind of high strung. My other one, you can probably hear him in the background grunting and snoring. That's my pug. What are your other hobbies? I like to crochet a lot. I have tried knitting and I can't really get into it. I may try it again though, but I just don't like it as good as I like crocheting. I like the way that garments, sweaters and stuff turn out knitted, but I just cannot get into knitting. I don't know why. I really like to crochet. I have done a couple blankets, have a couple blankets on the side that are not completely finished. Maybe I'll show them sometime later. I am also getting a little obsessed with quilting. I have not started that yet. I just got a sewing machine, never touched a sewing machine, but decided I needed to have one to quilt, and so I will hopefully get that started soon. I'm real excited to do a quilt. I really want to make a quilt. I also love to read, and I'm kind of obsessed with Flosstube and TV shows. So I like to read pretty much anything. I will try and read anything. My most favorite are paranormal romance, young adult fiction. I'm pretty, those are the 2 genres that I kind of stick to the most. Some of my favorite authors, I also like horror. Love anything horror. I think that's fantastic. I like to be scared. And so for horror, I have been reading Amy Cross. I really like her. I've read 2 books of hers so far, and I like them a lot. I also really like Karen Marie Moning and Gina Showalter and Anne Aguirre. I don't know how you say her last name, but they're some of my absolute favorites. I can read their books over and over again. They have series, which I'm really into. I like to read a series where you're following a line of characters. I'm always into that. That's why I like TV shows more than movies. What is your favorite movie? I'm gonna have to say Jaws. Jaws is my favorite movie. My dad was pretty obsessed with that when we were young, so we watched it all the time, over and over and over again. I like all 4 of the movies, even the crappy 3D one in the middle there. I'll still watch it all the time. I do have a lot of other movies that I really like, but I can watch Jaws over and over and over repeatedly. Like I said, anything horror, love it. Love horror stuff. Things that make you scared. Things that, like, you know, whatever. My favorite TV show is American Horror Story. That's my favorite TV show. Like I said, if it's scary, I like that. I like the scary. Me and my husband also like to watch Game of Thrones. We're really excited about when the last season comes out. I think in April is supposed to be coming out. So I cannot wait for that to be out and finish watching that. My favorite book is Charlotte's Web. I think just because I read that was like one of my first chapter books when I was really young. But I really, really, really love that book, and I've read it like 1,000 times. But I like anything. I love book suggestions. Anything. I'll try and read anything. I may not like it. I'm pretty obsessed with once I've started a book, finishing a book. I don't like to just stop reading a book unless it's just really terrible and I can't get through it. My favorite music is pop music. I like anything that has a really good beat, so usually that's pop. I listen to a lot of stuff. Country, I think, is my least favorite. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I like older country, so anything. My dad, you know, used to listen to Hank Williams Jr. and, you know, I don't know, all those older country people, and they're okay. My husband likes it. I don't really like it. And new country just doesn't feel like country to me. So it's my least favorite. I don't normally listen to country. What word best describes you? I'm gonna say introverted. That's why I picked my name. Crowds are kind of a big deal for me. I can do it, but it makes me so exhausted to be in a crowd of people. So, yeah, I like small groups, and, you know, I like to be at home. I'm a homebody for sure. So that is why I came up with my name. It just felt like the best name for me. Okay, so I'm gonna show some of the things that I finished ages ago. I started cross-stitching probably about 15 years ago. My mom's friend cross-stitches, and I saw some of her work, and I'm like, I'll give that a shot. I'd kind of like to do that. So I started it, and very first thing that I did was Rose of Sharon. Sorry about the glare. And this was the very first cross stitch that I ever worked on. And this is what it looks like. I did this on Ada, which is fine. It was good to work on for a beginner for sure. She's absolutely gorgeous. I had such a good time stitching her. She's, to this day, remains my favorite thing that I have ever worked on. And yeah, I love this. I love it. It was so much fun to work with. I have plans actually to stitch her again, but I'm gonna change it up. I'm gonna do a conversion for her. And let's see. I don't remember like kind of which order I did these in, but then I did the Spring Queen. This one was also a lot of fun. It's really weird that I picked two that were so yellow, one right on top of the other. But this is what it looks like, and I did this is linen. It's not my favorite, but I did a pretty good job on it. I can tell where my tension was kind of way off, and that I'm not crazy about. Like, I can see bigger holes in like my back. I like went, I don't know, can you see the strands halfway across her dress? I don't do that anymore, and I learned a lot of stuff since I started stitching again, so I don't do that anymore. But then I did, which one is this? Garden Beauty, and I just love, I think this is so pretty. So pretty. Things are crooked and crazy. I can't hold them upright, I know. I'm getting used to this camera and how everything works. But this is, and she has beads and so much pretty stuff. Like those are some pretty giant beads. Oh, sorry. Pretty big beads. But it came out really pretty. So I'm really happy. This was on linen too. This one really bothers me because I have a couple of places that I can tell my tension was really horrible. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like really huge holes. So I don't know. I'll probably stitch this one again too, but see how that goes. I have other stuff that I want to stitch before I go back and do that. And then I started Winter Queen. And this is, I made a mistake in her dress. Down here at the bottom, I was way off on my counting. And so I have to go back through and see. I haven't picked this up in probably 10 years. So I'm gonna go back and see where I messed up, how much I would have to frog. If it's not too much, then I will probably get back on this. If it is, I'll probably buy a new piece of fabric and just start over. This fabric was really pretty. I don't know if you can see it. It's real sparkly. I don't remember what any of my fabric was called because I didn't keep any notes then. Didn't even think about doing it. I didn't care. The next thing that I finished probably between 10 and 15 years ago. This is Victorians Across America. I don't know. Ehrlich Lewis Home. I don't know. Anyway, it's a pretty house. And I did a pretty good job on this. I really was happy with the way this turned out. That's crazy. I did a pretty good job. I really, really liked working on this. It was a lot of fun. So I really like that one. And now that I've seen so many videos on finishing and everything, I'm gonna try and do all of that myself and see how it turns out. I've never finished anything. I would just stitch, and you know, that was the fun part to me, just getting it stitched, and you know, just the action of doing it was fun to me. Since I started cross-stitching in June. That's when I really started getting back into it. And the first thing that I found was, let me see, pattern, My Grandchildren, Bobby G Designs. So I wanted to do this for my mom's anniversary this year. That's kind of past. I'm a little late. Her anniversary was on August 30th. But I am finished with it. So I did change a lot of the colors. I did, oh crud. I did metallic thread instead of just back stitching in between each square. You can't really tell, maybe a little. But anyway, so I changed a lot of the colors, and then I just let, she has 4 grandkids right now, so I let my kids pick their color that they wanted, and then let, you know, my niece and nephew pick their color and put their names and their birthdays and all that stuff in there. The next thing that I started, I love these. I really want the whole set. I'm gonna start buying them and get them done. I've never done anything like this. I haven't really, I pretty much exclusively was doing Mirabilia patterns. I loved them when I saw them. So that's basically what I did. And I never was super into, I don't know if you'd call this more primitive patterns, I guess. I don't know. But I started watching Flosstube and I was like, I'm gonna try one of those because they're so cute. And I guess your tastes change a lot in 10 years. So this is my finish of it. Oh God, y'all, I'm sorry. So crazy. Okay. So I'm super happy. This had some French knots, like where the ladybugs are. It had French knots. Oh, that was so fun. I loved doing the French knots. I thought they were great. And there were supposed to be some in the little strawberries all the way across, but I didn't like the way that looked, so I didn't do that. But yeah, I'm super happy with that. This was on, this was all called for on the back. I think it's lamb's wool linen. Yeah, 28 count lamb's wool linen Wichelt, and that's what I did. I didn't change any colors or anything. I did exactly what was called for. I didn't even know that you could, you know, it didn't even cross my mind to change colors until I started this. I changed a bunch of colors on that because it just didn't look like colors that my mom would like, so I changed a bunch of the colors on that, and that was brave for me. And now I think about changing up colors all the time, and I see how everybody else changes things, and I love it. I love the way that everybody can take something and turn it into something that is completely different. All the colors and the fabric, it's crazy. In June, I didn't even know about hand-dyed fabric. That I didn't know about any of that until I had started. I actually have a damask roses going, a Mirabilia pattern, and I just used the called for linen on that. I'll show that in another video, but because I'm still working on that. But using hand-dyed fabric, I didn't even think about that, so I just got the called for linen, and I really wish that I'd have got something different because I think it could have made that pattern so much better. But yeah, after I had kitted that up and got it started, that's when I really started getting into Flosstube and some groups on Facebook, and really started seeing what people could do with patterns. It's crazy. And so I'm hoping to get Fairy Moon started. I have a lot of plans for different fabrics and everything, and I've got a lot of patterns that I want so very badly. I've found a lot of new stuff. Etsy is incredible for patterns. I love PDF patterns because I can use it on my tablet with Goodreader. I don't like paper. I would rather have it on my phone or on my tablet. That's generally what I use now. I even just take pictures and then download it and, you know, hand highlight it. Or, I mean, I guess it's, you know, digital, but I like that way better than using paper, because then I don't have to mess up a chart. How I did it before, you know, I would highlight every little square, and then you'd have a pattern that's all messed up. And so I like just taking pictures, putting it on my Goodreader app, and then I still have my pattern that is in great condition, and I don't have to, you know, have any of it messed up. So that is about all I have for today. I was gonna show some of my patterns and some of the things that I'm working on, but I didn't want my video to be too long, and I didn't know exactly how long it would take. I want to do a couple of shout outs to people that I love to watch, that I super enjoy watching. I never miss their videos. Christine at Stitch All the Things, absolute favorite. I'm obsessed with her. She's fantastic. She is one of the top reasons that I'm going to do a quilt, going to make a quilt. And she has a really great Quilting 101 series on her channel, so that she explains everything and kind of discusses, you know, picking out colors and that kind of stuff, which is, it was just super easy to understand. She explained everything great. That is what I will be following when I start my quilt. Anyway, she's really sweet. I can't say enough good things about her. She is my absolute favorite. I never miss one of her videos. And what she works on, what she cross stitches and likes is perfect for, I just love to see what she's working on, because she kind of likes things that are a little bit more on the dark side, and that, I love that. That's great. Sarah at Stitchology, she also quilts. She always has a quilt hanging up. I love to see her quilts. I think she's got like 10 or 11 videos out, and she always talks about her quilts and will tell you where the pattern is. And I've got plans for a couple of the quilts that I've seen her do too. She's also got a lot of cool stuff going on. She's working on a lot of, she likes sci-fi, Star Wars stuff, and so she's working on a Princess Leia that I'm really excited to see how that turns out. And Jennifer at Whistle Stop Stitcher, she is, I think that's the right name, I think it is. She's so cool. She's got, her and her husband bought a farmhouse in Tennessee, and it's so neat. She goes through each room. When she first started her videos, she went through each room in that house and showed you the rooms. She's got like a ton of quilts in there that are just beautiful. She also quilts and always has like a quilt hanging where you can see it. They're always beautiful. I love them. They're fantastic. She has a huge quilting machine that is so neat. I've never seen one, and she did a small little clip of it working. It was so neat. So cool. So go look. Misty Purcell, this girl, I can't even, she does so many different things and is so good at so many different things. She knits, crochets, weaves, cross stitches, I mean, quilts. She's crazy. It's crazy. She's got so much stuff going on. And she's good at all of it. Everything is so beautiful. So go watch her, because she is amazing. I really like to watch Andrea, I Heart Cross Stitch. She always has the brightest, most colorful cross stitch patterns going on. So I like to keep up with her too, to see what she's doing. I forgot the name of, she's doing a Heaven and Earth design that is gorgeous. It's got so many different colors, and she's got so much done on it already. I'm always amazed to see how much progress she makes on her patterns. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna talk about right now. There are so many different Flosstubers that I could talk about, because it's, like I said, it's an addiction. My husband made fun of me because I actually fell asleep last night holding my computer watching Flosstube. Yeah, so he made fun of me. But anyways, so I have so many people that I'm gonna talk about and that I want to talk about that are super great. So yeah, I'm gonna end my video here. I think I'm gonna try and do a video every 2 weeks and see how that goes. And I want to maybe have a certain things at certain times of the video. I also want to show a little bit of my crochet stuff, but I think I'm going to do that at the very end of my video. That way, you know, if you don't want to see that stuff, you don't have to see it. But I've got some stuff that I really love that I'm working on, and I want to show it off. So I'll probably do that. I don't always have a lot of haul. I buy things every month, but it's not usually a ton. So we'll see how that all works out. If you have any suggestions for videos or what I could work on, please tell me. I would love to know what I need to work on. I know I say a lot. My daughter told me that. She said, Mom, you say that a whole lot. You should probably not say that. And I'm like, well, I'll try and work on that, you know. And she said, I jiggle a lot, my knee. She said, you look like you're like going up and down. Anyway, so I said, well, I'll try and not do that too. Nervous jitter type of thing. But anyway, if, you know, anybody has any criticism I would love to hear, you know, what I could do better. I want to, you know, I had a lot of fun doing this video. I think it's fun to show off, you know, what you're working on. I like to see what everybody else is working on. I think it really gets creative juices flowing and helps me to think about other things to do. Like I said, I've already picked up another hobby. I'm going to start quilting. So, you know, I want to keep making videos. I think it's fun, and I would love to hear what everybody else thinks. Oh, also book recommendations. I love getting book recommendations. So I love it when people talk about what they're reading at that time. I'm always saving it. I have it in, you know, my Goodreads list right away so that I can try and read what everybody else is reading or check it out. So anything like that, I love it. Books and television, so I always see what people are watching and go check that out, and so I really love to hear about all of that. So I'm gonna do that too in my videos, just because it's a huge interest of mine. So I guess that's all I'm gonna do today. I know this was probably kind of jumbled feeling. Hopefully I'll get better. I'm sure I will. But anyway, I guess that's all I'm gonna say, and I will hopefully see everybody in a couple weeks. Bye.